Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson. Let's go and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to go on and talk about tonight. But before we get into that, what are we going to talk about for tonight, just in general? Well, number one, we're going to talk about our dry and stable patterns as they dominate early during the week. We also will talk about temperatures remain to near below to near average through this weekend, and then also since I had nothing else to really fill that bottom spot, it's National Weather Person's Day. If people did not know that, it is National Weather Person's Day. So that is something as well that I wanted to say there. But for the most part, I mean that's it. We're not really going to talk about anything else. So with that out the way, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, so we have around a good 5 people that have tuned in so far, only 3 likes. So go ahead and hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button as well. If you are new, we're at 700, trying to get to 800, 100 subscribers away from that main goal. And also share with your friends, your family members, acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to like that. That is definitely something that you should want to do. And so that's all that I pretty much have to talk about as we go into today. So let's go on right now and look and see what's going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And right now, absolutely nothing. It is nice and dry right now. Yes, nice and dry right now. But if we go on and scroll our way out, see what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S., we do in fact have some rainfall and some snowfall going on. Rainfall going on over here on the coast of North Carolina, some snowfall going on in portions of Michigan, as well as over here inside of Wisconsin. We also have some snowfall over there, some rainfall going on in northern Wisconsin, and even some rainfall going on over inside of Southern California and Arizona. If we go and look at our cloud cover for the most part looks mostly cloudy. For the most part, there are some clear spots going on right now, but cloud cover going on in the upstate, cloud cover going on inside of the coastal areas as well. And so if we go on and look at that cloud cover for the future, here it is right here. We're going to go on and push this forward. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. As you go on and push this forward all the way through, we get to around 12 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock-ish or so. And we have cloud cover that continues to push its way east. Now, as we get to around 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, all the way to 10 a.m., it's nice and clear outside. We will start to see some more. Cloud cover going on as we get into like I said, like the afternoon going into the evening, and then going all the way to 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 11, 10, 11 o'clock, going on all the way to around 12 o'clock in the morning. That cloud cover starts to leave again. So it seems like it's going to start off clear, but then it will kind of go to cloudy. But then as it gets into the nighttime, it will go back into the clear conditions for the most part. But of course, we're still not done because you continue all the way through Saturday. It looks to be clear through Saturday, though. And now as we go in and talk about for our current temperatures right now, we have around a good 35 inside of Somerville, 37 in Charleston, as well as 39 in Beaufort, 36 inside of Georgetown, and 37 inside of Murrells Inlet and Myrtle Beach, 36 in Conway, 34 in Orangeburg, 37 in Aiken, and 34 in Columbia, 33 Lugoff, and 34 inside of Hartsville in Lancaster, 38 in Lawrence, and 38 Anderson and Clemson, 39 in Greenville, and 35 in Gaffney, York. Going into our air quality, for the most part, we're all inside the moderate category. So what is the moderate category? Well, it's just the category before the actual unhealthy for sensitive groups area. So that's what we're looking at there. Not quite good, but we're inside the moderate area. So not the worst, not really too bad. Low temperatures for tonight. It's going to be cold tonight. We will see freezing temperatures tonight throughout pretty much almost statewide, except for maybe some coastal areas. You have around 26 in Greenville, 25 in Spartanburg, 24 in Rock Hill, as well as 28 in Columbia, 27 in Camden and Newburgh, as well as 27 in Florence, 28 in Sumter, and 29 in Orangeburg, 28 Barnwell, and 29 in Walterboro, 29 inside of Moncks Corner, and 29 in Georgetown, 32 in Charleston, and 35 in Hilton Head Island, 29 in Myrtle Beach. Now, if we go into our high temperatures for tomorrow, you have around a good 57 inside of Greenville, 57 also inside of Spartanburg, and 52 in Rock Hill, 50 Dillon, and 52 in Florence, 55 in Sumter, and 57 inside of Columbia, 57 in Orangeburg and Barnwell, as well as Aiken, 54 inside of Moncks Corner, and 55 in Charleston, 52 Georgetown, and 57 in Hilton Head Island. Now, what about for our wind chills for tonight? Because that is obviously another big concern, as it looks like. Let me make sure I got the right one. Yeah, this is for Thursday night. And that's, like I said, a big concern as we move on to that right now. Looks like that, it's going to be potentially in the 20s for a lot of us when those winds get going. When those winds get going, you see low 20s in the upstate, maybe some higher 20s. You may even see some low 30s in like the inland low country. Even near Charleston, could potentially get down to 29 in terms of wind chill. So it's going to be cold, especially when those winds are moving. So make sure pets are brought inside. Make sure that if you have to drip your pipes, if you have to, it's not the worst. Not the worst of, like lowest numbers that we've seen. More on the higher side of the freezing category. And so if we go on now and move into our rainfall, not expected at this time, so we are good there. Snow, ice, and stuff like that, that's all pretty good. And so let's go and look at the crazy score. Where crazy score is at the top, kind of like the top middle right part of the screen. We're at a 20. We're at a 20. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it's a score that we see how crazy the weather is throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Why are we at a 20, you ask? Well, we actually are at a 20 for a bunch of reasons. Number one being that obviously these low temperatures for tonight. It's going to be super, super cold as we go into tonight. And then as you move on into your other areas as of why, it's also going to be cloudy, but it's also going to be kind of clearing at the same time, so that also adds to it as well. And then I think that's about it. Nothing else really too crazy there. Now, what about for the SPC outlook? No thunderstorms tonight, tomorrow, Saturday. We're good in terms of thunderstorm activity. In terms of your fire weather outlook, nothing there. Excessive rainfall, nothing there. So let's go and look at the models. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Also make sure, because I just took a look at it, you go in and vote. Go in and vote inside of the drought predictions. It's up there right now. We'll talk about the drought in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. So you have about 5 to 10 minutes to vote and get your opinion in on it. And I'll go in and get mine out. So we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. We can go in and push this forward, but, it's going to be dry. Go all the way into Friday, nice and dry. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, you will start to see maybe a couple of showers starting to move into, the eastern part of the state, PD area, going to around, the evening tomorrow. But after that, it's up out of there pretty quickly. Go all the way into Saturday, going all the way into Saturday during noon, all the way through around 6 o'clock p.m., going on into around 7 o'clock p.m., and we are completely dry, nothing to see here. So let's go and look at the long-term future. We're going to start off here at the 54-hour mark here at 7 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. If you go in and push this forward, you can see that we, in fact, will continue to stay dry all the way throughout this weekend, going into Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, we may start to see some rainfall pushing in around 4 to 5, maybe even around 6 o'clock p.m. as we go into Tuesday. So that's our next chance of rainfall up there inside the upstate. We're looking for some more rainfall potentially going into Wednesday afternoon as well throughout the lower parts of the state. Then as you continue all the way throughout Thursday, going into Friday, Saturday, you start to see some rainfall. This goes into next weekend, obviously. I'm going into Valentine's Day here. And you have some rainfall now going on over in like the western parts, just to the west of us, like western parts of Georgia, northern Alabama, with some rainfall and some snowfall going on for them. While that's going on, we will start to see some rainfall over where we are going to like Saturday afternoon on Valentine's Day. And then, like I said, nothing really too crazy. We continue our way forward. May see a little bit of a storm threat as we go into like the middle part of February, but that's way too far out to talk about right now. So if I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look like anything too crazy. I think that we are going to be, for the most part, quiet in terms of activity. Yes, we will see some rainfall. Yes, we will potentially still see, shower storm activity potentially. You never can rule out storms, for anything really. If their ingredients are there, it's all possible. But I don't see like any big time threat. I don't see any big time threat at all. So if we go on now and look at our temperatures, because I do want to go and look at the temperatures. You can go in and see as we go into around the 54-hour mark. You can see we have some temperatures dropping down into the below freezing range as we get into around Saturday night. We will see pretty much almost all of us getting to below freezing on Saturday night, going into Sunday morning. It's going to be very cold Sunday morning. And then I want you to notice as we go into next week. Going to Monday here, going into Tuesday. Look at these high temperatures right here. 60s as we go into Monday during the day. Okay, what about Tuesday? Tuesday, we're seeing some upper 60s, maybe even an isolated 70 somewhere. Okay, what about Wednesday? Wednesday, we are seeing 70s. We're seeing 70s throughout a good amount of the state going into Wednesday. Going into Thursday, some cold air tries to move through on Thursday, so it's not going to get as warm. In fact, we're going to get back to below freezing at the end of next week. But if you go on into the weekend, we'll start to cool right back down. But trust me, warm temperatures will be back the week after, potentially. So, pretty much what I'm showing you here is that next week, especially as you get into Tuesday and Wednesday, it will be warmer. It will be warm, finally. I know that we have been waiting for these warm temperatures to come back. We've been waiting for these temperatures to come back as we go all the way back into maybe like mid-January, possibly, maybe even a bit before that. So it's been a good little minute since we've gotten some 70s to get throughout the state. So now that is all out of the way, let's go on now and talk about the drought. So we're going to go on and I'm just going to put you on the models screen. I'm going to go on and put you on the models screen. But if you have no idea what the drought prediction is, it pretty much is just a prediction where we put our predictions for what the drought is going to look like as we go into like the past week or so. We look at the observed precipitation rates and we make our prediction, or at least I make my prediction like that. Usually people that are inside the chat usually just make it on the fly what they think, especially if you've been paying attention to the forecast and you've been with me here almost every night, you probably know what the rainfall rates are looking like. So there's 4 options right now. 33% said that the drought has expanded, 67% said that the drought has shrunk / stayed the same, and 0% said that the drought is gone or the abnormally dry is gone. So it looks like that we are mainly looking at a drought has shrunk / stayed the same. While there is some people who think that the drought has expanded, though. Still are some people who think that. So let me go in and show you what that looks like right now. We're going to go in and look at the observed precipitation. You can see that we do in fact have around a good inch of rainfall that has fallen. Now this is total precipitation. This is right here total precipitation. That pretty much shows like rainfall, shows snowfall, shows stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at right now in terms of accumulation. And so with that, I'm going to have to agree with the majority. I'm just looking at this map. I'm going to have to agree with the majority. I think drought has shrunk / stayed the same. And we're going to go on right now and see what the audience has to say, or what the drought has to say about it, what the actual forecast says. So we're going to go on. I already have the past one loaded up, so just in case we need to go in and pull out a look at the old one, we'll go in and do that. But for right now, let's go in and get a drum roll, and let's go in and reveal it, what the drought is for tonight. And it seems like that is, yeah, it stayed pretty much the same. Nothing really here for me to say. It looks almost exactly the same. So, congratulations to the 67% who has gotten it completely correct, as there is indeed just no sign of any change. So let's go and give them a round of applause. Now, obviously, we're not applauding for any sort of drought to get ongoing. We're just applauding for the people who got the answer correct. But you can see if you're inside the tan, or like the more orangish areas, I should say, you're in the D2, you're in the severe drought. If you're in the D1, that's tan. That is the D1 drought, the moderate drought, and then the D0, which is up here inside the northern parts of the state, that's abnormally dry. Now, it looks like, for the most part, that, like I said, no changes were made, so everybody should be where they were last week. We still have droughts going on throughout the entire Low Country, Midlands, PD, Grand Strand, Upstate, except for northern Oconee, Pickens, and northwestern Greenville counties. So that's what we're looking at right now in terms of the drought. We'll see what happens again next week, Thursday. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say as we go into tonight. So we're going to start off with, let me see, my Aunt Lula, who was here first. She says, "Good evening, everyone. I pray that you all had a great day." Well, thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My name is Asoloje. A cold, rainy day today. It was cold, rainy today." Mr. Chris says, "Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. Also share with everyone that you know. It helps the channel grow and it gives information out." He's absolutely correct. Right now we have around a good... Did I break? I did. Well, I'm going to go in and refresh this and... Oh. No, it's back. Okay. Looks like we have around a good 15 people that have tuned in, and only around 10 likes. So if you're part of the 5 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. Maya Lewis says, "Today in Georgetown it was cold, windy, and rainy." Yes, cold, windy, and rainy. Well, thank you so much for that weather update for where you are over there. And then also over there, Mr. Chris says, "Same here in Moncks Corner, rainy and cold." And then, as we continue our way down, Mr. Chris says, "Currently it's 35 degrees here in Moncks Corner." Currently 35 degrees over there inside of Moncks Corner. And with the, got to 40 with the wind chill of 35. Well, thank you so much for that weather update for where you are as well. My outlook says today in Georgetown it was around 38 degrees. Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." Mr. Chris says, "Felt very cold and uncomfortable." Thad says, "Good evening, Joseph and the 360 weather family. Good evening to you." And then Thad says, "It was a beautiful day here inside of San Antonio. Sun was shining. The sun was shining." And then slight breeze. "My wife and I did some rose pruning and yard maintenance. Hopefully it will stay like this." Hopefully it will stay like this. Well, I do hope that it does stay like that for you. And we'll talk about your weather for you, but I think that you will like it. I think that you will like it for sure. I'm continuing my way down. Maya Lewis says currently weather is 36, wind chill of 32. My daughter lives in Los Angeles and earlier was 80 degrees. Wow, that sounds great right now. Dad says currently 60 with clear skies all around, not a rain cloud in sight. And then Maya Lewis says, I'm so glad that warm weather is on the way. Terrell says, greetings everyone. And Mr. Chris says, me too. This cold is killing my hands. And that is all that we have here for the chat. So we're going to go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they show up almost every single night and show their support, we go in and give them their props and give them their forecasts as a sign of appreciation. Now, if we go into San Antonio first, as we always do, low temperatures tonight at around 45, high temperatures tomorrow at around 80, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 50. Precipitation, not expected as you go throughout tonight and as you go throughout tomorrow. Severe weather not expected at this time. Same thing with excessive rainfall for everybody. Everybody does not have a risk for any sort of severe weather, excessive rainfall, or anything like that. But if we go into your future, like I said, you will enjoy your future. We go through this weekend, temperature in the upper 70s, and then as you go into next week, Wednesday, it's going to be 82. So you will also see a bit of a rain chance. Obviously no freezing rain, no snow chance or anything like that. But I do think that you will have that shot next week of rainfall early in the week. Then what about for Raleigh, North Carolina? You have low temperatures tonight around 41, high temperatures tomorrow at around 76, and then low temperatures tomorrow night around 36. Precipitation not expected at this time as you go throughout tonight and tomorrow. Severe weather, excessive rainfall not expected for you. For your future, looks like that you will also be warming up. You have a little bit of a dip on Saturday, but you'll get back to the 70s. You'll get back up closer. Trying to get to the 80s, but I don't know if you'll quite make it there next week. And then as you go into later into the week, you actually will start to cool down as you get into midweek. That being of next week. So we'll see what happens there for you. But let's see. We're gonna go on and move this forward even more for Philadelphia. With low temperatures tonight at around 14, high temperatures tomorrow at around 31, and then low temperatures tomorrow night around 23. Precipitation not expected at this time as we go throughout, tonight, tomorrow. But tomorrow night, light snow is likely as you go into Friday night. So you do have to watch out for that. And there is indeed, for your future, you will cool down. You will cool down 31 on Friday, 21 on Sunday, 29 on Monday. So it's going to continue to just drop for you. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight around, that should be 41 over there. I may have accidentally glitched my thing out because that is actually supposed to be, I may have accidentally switched out Duncan and Raleigh's forecast together with one another. So the real one for Duncan is low temperatures tonight at 41, high temperatures tomorrow at around 76, and then low temperatures tomorrow night around 36. Precipitation for tonight, not expected. So that's my apologies on that. My apologies. This is your actual forecast. And for your future, you're the one that's actually going to warm up. You'll have 70s, maybe trying to get into the 80s or so. And then for Raleigh, excuse me for that, your low temperatures tonight are actually 45, 23. Excuse me, your low temperature for tonight is actually 23. And then your high temperatures for tomorrow is at 46, and then 27 on Friday night. And you actually have a chance of rainfall as you go into tomorrow night and tomorrow, just in general. So that is my apologies again. Mixed up the Raleigh and the Duncan forecast by accident. But Philadelphia and San Antonio are the same. Nothing changes there. But that's all I have to say for the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. Now, what about for the special weather statement I see over here inside of the eastern part of the state? Well, it looks like standing water from recent rainfall, and any leftover melting snow will result in patchy black ice along or across areas of roadways, and as temperatures drop to and below 32 degrees later this evening and 20s overnight. So if you're over there inside the PD area, Grand Strand area. Make sure that you're watching out for that black ice over there. Check out the chat. I don't see anything outside the chat for me. If we go in and check out the top fans of the night for tonight, Mr. Chris at number 1, my Aunt Lou is at number 2, and then Thad's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. So that is fantastic for the 3 of y'all. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also, being here on time, being here early, so you can get that extra spot. And then also you can go on and be active inside the chat. All of that stuff is definitely what could help you get to the top there. As Chris says, just rechecked my temperature and it's at 35 degrees. Well, thank you so much for that weather update for where you are. And that's all I have to say for tonight. Pretty short forecast for tonight. The drought monitor kind of made it a little bit longer. And then that little mistake during the Raleigh and Duncan forecast made it a little bit longer. But for the most part, this is one of the shortest forecasts I've done in a good little minute. So, not including the morning. So that's all I have to say here. Make sure if you've not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Right now we have around a good 17 people that have tuned in and only 10 likes so far. So if you're part of the 7 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're at 700 trying to get to 800. We are 100 away. Also hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to like that, because that is indeed going to help us get us to that goal of 800 with your support. And that's all that I have to say. So, like I said, I'll be here tomorrow morning for your Friday morning forecast update. Let's just get through tomorrow, and we will be there to that weekend. We'll be there to that weekend and to warmer weather. Now, we still have some freezing nights to go, but we still will make it there. We will still make it there. So, like I said, everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow morning, and make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave.